Hi everyone, today I'm going to share with you my updated horse racing simulator file. So I've collected things I found myself and comments that I've received on my YouTube channel and came up with a list of changes that I needed to make to the file. So this version of the file has all those changes applied. I've got a short list here so I know what to go over, and I'm just going to go over these changes that have been made since the previous version. This file can be found on my website along with the original version, and a link to the website will be in the description of the video below. So first, some fixes I made. In the old version you were able to bet more than you had. You can no longer do that. Also, between races there'd be a lot of mess in this payout box right here, especially with the time and position. It wouldn't make sense having those stay after a race. So that clears out now. Also, you can no longer have duplicate player names, and you can't start a race if you don't have one set up, or if you have a non-existent player typed up here, or duplicate if a name's entered more than once up here. So there's just some fixes. Now I've also made some updates, like added new features to the mechanics of the game. One thing is, to set up a race, you first set it up down here using these options, and then once it's set up, make all your bets in this payout box right here, names in the top row, all your bets alongside the horse you're betting with and under the name, and then you press race to actually simulate the race. And one addition that's been added with the setup is you can now change the distance of the race. I can just enter any number here, and I can also change the measurement type of the distance, so between meters, yards, miles, or furlongs. And in case you don't know the breakdown, I even have a little cheat sheet here. And I'm just looking at the comment box I have attached to these files. If you just like move the mouse over the cell, any cell that's got a red corner, you'll see a little comment box with like reminders. So another addition, you are also able to edit the number of horses in the race. And as you can see, just enter a whole number from 5 to 20. So like this race that was just shown here has 20 horses. And if you don't remember what speed is, just a reminder, it's like how fast the race will simulate. So at a speed of 1, if a horse finishes in 2 minutes, it'll take 2 minutes to actually simulate that. Where with like a 0.1, 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds, would take 12 seconds to simulate. And I mean, it's not 100% accurate, but the idea is a smaller number, faster race. If you want to go in super slow-mo, be careful with the measurement of distance you put in there, but you know, a higher number would then make it take longer. So another new feature over here, there's a player summary box, and you create a horse box. So you can now create your own horse. There's little notifications over here to tell you if your horse will be valid to create. As you can see, Blaze is already a taken name from my horse master database. So if I enter a different name, that little reminder or notice goes away. And each of these have little comment boxes, so right here it just tells you can't have a duplicate name or else your horse won't be saved. For speed and stamina, it'll give you a summary of the horses that are already in my database, so you can see their speed ranges from 15 to 28, with the average being a 21. And all the hundreds of horses I already have in the database have an average stamina of 88, ranging 60 to 130. Those are just good guidelines, but you could have a horse with 200 stamina. He'd never get worn out and like a ridiculous speed. Speed can also be changed between meters per second and miles per hour. And there's your little reminder, 1 meter per second is 2.24 miles per hour. So if I was to do miles per hour here, 32 would actually be kind of slow. I'd probably want to go with like 65. Yeah. I'm just making this a really fast horse. I'm going to go 70. A lot faster than a horse should actually be able to run. Also, just to note, speed is like the fastest they'll reach for like an instantaneous second, but their average speed throughout the whole race will actually be a lot slower than that. Like, this horse isn't going to run 70 miles per hour the whole way through. That's just a top speed. Strategy, there's also a new strategy. In the original game, there's sprinters and distance runner horses. Distance runners would conserve their stamina, they'd start the race off slower and try and like finish at the end, sometimes not using all their stamina. Sprinters would use up their stamina and go full speed from the start and usually get worn out towards the end. Now there's moderate. They can be a little bit more wasteful of stamina, but also, you know, they kick it into gear a little bit quicker too. They're just like the midway between the two. So, and then you just pick your strategy. Oh, and it's going to try and auto, since I entered it, just backspace that auto correct stuff. And if I create a horse, Blazer has been added to the database. Now notice it now appears as a duplicate name. If I try it again, invalid entries, I can't create the horse until this is fixed. Now creating a player, I'll enter a name. Oh, and here's a neat little glitch that happens. I'm glad it showed up for me here. Sometimes one of my other spreadsheets will be shown. It's just like a memory issue in Excel. You can just scroll to fix that, or you can minimize and reopen your window, whatever. But notice that went away. New player, esims has been added with a starting balance of 1,000. If I try to add it again, duplicate name. So that's really cool. And now you can see esims will appear over here along with other stuff. And the player summary just tells you the amount of cash I have, the number of times I've ever bet, my average winnings overall, and what my biggest win is, which is another new thing I've added. Before, I never tracked biggest win. So let's see, what have I gone over? New player summary box. Okay, yes, that's it up there. Biggest win, meters, yards. And you can now edit the horse. Cool. So, yep, and that's about it. So here I'll do like an example race. 400 meters. Do a pretty quick race, and I can enter any number between. See, if I try entering 0, it's going to say, oh, retry again. Oh, that note's kind of messed up. I'll fix that before I release the final version. But yes, I entered 20. That glitch happens a lot now. It's kind of weird. But so I hit setup. Race set for 400 meters with 20 horses. You can see 20 new horses have been generated with their odds. Here's a little reminder. If I change it to like 1600, if I don't hit setup, okay, that's an interesting. Well, the way it should work, I think I just had this pointing at the wrong cell, but I changed it to 1600. The actual race is going to be for 400 meters because that's what it was when I hit setup originally, unless I hit setup again. So anyways, this is a 400 meter race with 20 horses. I can enter my name up here, and what my bets are: $10, 50, just random numbers. My Excel is getting kind of annoying with that little glitch. And then race. Oh, and that is really bad. It wasn't doing this before. I think its memory's kind of getting bad because I'm using the recording software at the same time right now. If I did this without recording, that doesn't look so horrible. But, yep, so that was the race. Alright, so that was all. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you find anything that needs changing, or if you have any problems or anything, let me know. Link can be found in the description below, or on my website if you already know where that's at.